Hey, if you've ever walked past those beautiful old row houses on Capitol Hill and wondered what's inside, here's your chance. The Capitol Hill Restoration Society's House and Garden Tour is back on May 9th and 10th. 8 private homes, 3 semi-public buildings, and a native plant garden, all in the older part of the neighborhood, with this year's home base right on Barracks Road. We're talking grand Victorian brick, old frame houses, stucco buildings, all the beautiful architecture that we love to nerd out about here on CityCast. Tickets are $40 in advance, $50 at the door, and $30 if you're a CHRS member. Snag yours on Eventbrite now.
Today on CityCast DC, it is almost one of the most fun times of the year in DC, and that is Porchfest season. Adams Morgan's Porchfest is this Saturday, May 2nd, and Petworth's is on May 30th. Now, Porchfest is such a quintessential DC thing to me that we had to talk about it. So I'm joined by CityCast's own Mark Kulkosky and Kaela Cote-Stemmerman, who are Porchfest pros, and they're here to tell me everything that you need to know on how to do Porchfest right. Today's Wednesday, April 29th. I'm Bridget Todd, and here's what DC is talking about. Hi, Kaela.
Hello, Bridget.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Bridget.
I am so excited to talk about one of my favorite days in DC, and that is Porchfest. But before we get into that conversation, we are kicking off our membership campaign today, and the timing is excellent. I just got finished reading our new reporter Emma's piece on teen takeovers, and as I read that piece, all I could think was, thank goodness for local reporters like Emma who are really covering these big flashpoint things about DC in ways that feel so authentic and important to me as a local DC resident. And so if you feel the way that I do about that kind of coverage, it is a great time to really make sure that we can continue doing that kind of work here at CityCast.
Absolutely. We're growing so much. Emma's just one of the amazing new reporters that we've brought on to cover local DC politics, everything from town hall meetings to restaurant openings to really everything in between. And your support is what makes that all possible. So it's a great time to join our CityCast Neighbors program. You can do it for $10 a month or $100 a year at membership.citycast.fm.
Maybe you're the kind of person that just wants to support good work here in DC, or maybe you're the kind of person that wants some swag for supporting good work here in DC. If that is the case, Mark, tell them what kind of swag they will get for becoming a member.
You will get a beautiful tote bag.
They're actually so cute. I just got mine in the mail yesterday. Mine says "For the love of DC," but there's also one that says "DC deserves local news." They're just super adorable designs that are super recognizable and can fit all of your farmers market goodies and everything else you might need.
Yeah, I carried mine to Lyman's recently, and somebody stopped me and said, "Where did you get that tote bag?" And I felt pretty cool saying, "Oh no, you can't simply purchase a tote bag like this. One needs to become a CityCast DC member to do so."
It's a subtle flex for sure.
Yeah, if you want to be able to say something that smug to another human being and have them become very regretful that they've spoken to you at all, go ahead and become a member. You can do that at membership.citycast.fm. Now that that's out of the way, Kaela, Mark, let's talk Porchfest. First of all, just up top, how do you two feel about Porchfest?
Oh, so pro. Is anybody anti-Porchfest?
Believe it or not, I have met some Porchfest haters out there. They're a small minority, but most people love it.
They're just doing it wrong.
I think some people get grumpy about having to drive around Petworth or Adams Morgan where it takes so much longer. But, it's a good day not to drive and just be kicking.
Mark, I know you are a Porchfest aficionado. What do you love so much about it?
It's the time of the year where you really just get out there and start enjoying the best time of the year in DC. I mean, we have, to be honest, a very short window until we get into that summer humidity. And what better way to, walk around different neighborhoods that are the most beautiful neighborhoods in DC, like Adams Morgan and Petworth, hearing some great music, meeting friends, enjoying some cold ones, and just kind of kicking it.
Every time I go, I just think wow, I cannot believe that I get to do this for free. Like, this is in my backyard, my neighborhood. There's these amazing bands. There's an amazing vibe. It's like a music festival, and I could go for an hour. I could go for 5 hours. It doesn't matter because I'm not paying for it. And it's an amazing experience.
And Kaela, you live in Adams Morgan. What is it like having this be basically in your backyard?
It's amazing. Last year, I just opened my window and there was a band across the street. And so for a lot of the afternoon, I was just vibing to the stage that was right by me. And then I went out, walked a couple blocks, met up with some friends. It's so beautiful.
So there are actually 2 Porchfests coming up, the one in Adams Morgan near Kaela and the one in Petworth. How do we think these 2 Porchfests compare to each other?
I've thought about this a lot. Honestly, I've been to both several times. It's a real toss-up for me. The Petworth one it's much larger. There's a lot more bands. It's much more spread out. Whereas the Adams Morgan one is much more condensed. It's much more crowded. There's fewer bands, and it's over a shorter period of time. But I think it depends on the vibe you want to go for. If you're just trying to hang out on a lazy afternoon with some brewskis with the boys, the metaphorical boys, then, or if you have kids, I think Petworth is the one for you. But if you're trying to go for that music festival vibe, then Adams Morgan might be it. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I can't agree more. Adams Morgan, I mean, you really think about it, it is right on 18th Street, where there's so many different restaurants and bars to also hang out. They have a wristband you can get to actually get specials at some of these places. After you fan out to the streets of Adams Morgan, that's where it gets fun with not as many porches, but I guess better curated porches at times, at least in my opinion. And then it is really more, I think, more for more adults going out to just kind of rage out a little bit in Adams Morgan comparatively. If you're either younger or want more of a chill vibe, I mean, or wanted to bring the kids to see music, Petworth's definitely the place for that, without a doubt.
Y'all both have said that Petworth is the much more parent traveling with little ones friendly option. I agree with you, but I will have to say, last Porchfest season, my best friend, Stephanie, and her husband, Tim, it was their idea. They brought their 1-year-old stroller and everything, and we all had a blast. So I say that to say Petworth is definitely the better, more kind of kid-friendly option. There's more space. It's less crowded, but I don't know if your baby's down enough. I don't know. How cool is your baby?
If you have a chill baby, then this is the one for you. I do think also Petworth, it's a lot more walking. So you have to be maybe more prepared if you're a parent or you're bringing along people who can't walk for very long. Plan it out. Make sure you know what stages you're going to, because by the end of the day, I think last Petworth Porchfest, I was looking at 10,000, 20,000 steps because it's so spread out.
That's a great segue into planning. I'm one of these people who, if we're going to something like Porchfest, I want the cooler. I want to have the bag with anything that anybody could possibly need. What should folks bring to Porchfest to have a successful Porchfest?
I am right there with you. I think it's way more enjoyable when you are prepared. I think the same kind of thing you would do for any outdoor music festival in the summer. You want to be drinking lots of water. You want to have sunscreen, a hat. You want to bring snacks, especially for the Petworth one, because there's not many places you can buy them en route. Whereas Adams Morgan, there are a lot of restaurants that kind of set up stalls outside, and you can buy, tamales or, sushi or whatever people are selling. A blanket, a stroller if you have it. I also see a lot of people with wagons to haul their stuff around. Some beers if you can drink them. Just, all the essentials. I will also say it's very important to use the bathroom before you go, especially, again, in Petworth, where it's mostly neighborhoods and you could be stuck begging somebody to let them in their house to use their restroom, which you do not want to be doing.
Yeah, I will say the thing with me and Porchfest, on that old show, Portlandia, there's a skit about the couple that has a lot of gear, like camping gear. That I am that person. Porchfest is where I really shine. I have a wagon. I have 2 collapsible chairs that collapse down to the size of a water bottle. Porchfest is my time to shine. All the gear that I have amassed that is cluttering up my tiny apartment finally comes out to play. You need a water bottle, you need a stool, you need some sunscreen, you need some wet naps. I got you.
I gotta go with you, Bridget, because I'm the opposite. I'm kind of like it'll all just work out by itself, you know? And then I get there and I'm like, dang, like I'm thirsty, but I also have to pee and I'm starving and I'm 45-minute walk from like the metro and I'm gonna die here.
Yeah, this is the kind of Porchfest friendship that works well, where one person is like taking it to the extreme of being prepared and the other can just sort of coast on the generosity of others. When you all go, how long do you go for? Like, do you pace yourself?
When I go, I usually start near my way up Upshur, closer to the old soldiers' home. And I kind of pace myself in a way where I start at my house. Last year I was actually doing some yard work, listening to the vibes. And after a little bit, we usually start, moseying down, just kind of spreading out through the streets. I think that's always best to, not go too hard in the beginning with kids or without kids. Take your time. But then by the time you get down to, after going through the Petworth a little bit, maybe you're going down Webster where there's a lot of great music, past Grand Circle. If you get down to all the way by like Upshur and 8th Street, that's where you start finding the restaurants where then you could, hit those bathrooms, fill up your beverages again, maybe get more ice, and so on.
Life can change faster than DC seasons. One moment, everything feels normal, and next, your world is turned upside down. So don't let someone else's mistake ruin your spring. Call the team you can count on. NACE Law Group has been standing up for DC families for decades, fighting for neighbors hurt by medical malpractice, wrongful death, and serious injuries. They don't just settle quickly or push papers. They dig in, fight hard, and make sure every client gets the justice they deserve. And here is something that I love. They are a longtime supporter of CityCast because just like us, they really care about this community and the folks who call it home. So if you or someone that you care about has been hurt, don't wait. Call NACE Law Group. They'll stand with you, fight for your family, and make sure your rights are protected so that you can focus on what matters most.
Hi, CityCast CEO David Plotz here. Are you looking for something a little different to do just outside DC this May? Live Golf is back, May 7th through 10th at Trump National Golf Club along the Potomac. And Live is not your typical golf weekend. I really love golf, love it. But usually golf tournaments are expensive and you cannot bring your kids unless you really want to be miserable. But not Live Golf. Think festival atmosphere, food, drinks, interactive fan experiences, golf challenges, and world-class golf. Bryson DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, and a stacked international field. And honestly, you don't have to be a golf person to have a great time out there. Tickets start at just $26. Kids 12 and under get in free with a ticketed adult. And Saturday night, Bailey Zimmerman closes it out in concert. It's a really easy day trip, a solid weekend plan, and something genuinely fun to do before summer kicks in. Get your tickets now at livegolf.com. That's LIV golf.com.
And really quickly, before we get back to the show, we talked about it on the roundup yesterday, but crazy, unexpected night over the weekend at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And who was on it very quickly? Emma Uber, one of the new folks just hired to do original reporting here at CityCast DC.
Yeah, they've been so amazing about keeping up with everything that's been moving so fast recently. Michael Bryce Sadler, another new hire on our team, just got two amazing scoops. One, which is that Ward 6 council member Charles Allen is backing Janice Lewis-George in the DC mayoral race. And another about the first ever co-endorsement of two DC council candidates. So there's lots going on, a lot of required reading that you guys should be getting on. And I think, again, just a great argument for why you should support local news when a lot of the bigger places aren't doing it.
That is so true. And you can support our growing newsroom to do this kind of important local coverage for just $10 a month or $100 a year at membership.citycast.fm. If they do that, Mark, What will they get in exchange?
Pretty cool tote bag. Get the tote bag.
Pretty sweet tote bag. I have it. I can confirm it is very cute. So that's membership.citycast.fm. Okay, the Petworth Porchfest, which is happening on May 30th, this year has 410 performers spread out on about 150 porches. I understand it's their biggest Porchfest yet.
Yeah, I believe so. It's honestly incredible to me how many performers come out of the woodwork for these porch fests. You have a huge array of performers, everybody from professional bands to just some dads that want to get weird with it, or one guy who just learned how to rap, And I feel like the beauty of Porchfest is you don't really know until you get there. And you're like, wow, this is either the best thing I've ever heard or what the heck is this even what even is this? But you end up with these crazy experiences of different bands that you would really never hear anywhere else. And you're never going to hear them again because they probably don't even have a website or a SoundCloud or anything to listen to. So this is your one and only chance to hear those weird tunes you've been craving, or not. Some of them are bad. I'm not going to lie.
You might be surprised at some of these old dad bands. Last year I mentioned that the Mesthetics were playing, which is kind of an offshoot of Fugazi. Those guys, used to maybe rage out pretty hard and really enjoy themselves back in the day, and now they're just kind of do it for fun. And maybe you'll be a little surprised, Kaela, by some of the things that come across.
I am constantly surprised. Usually in good ways. One
thing I actually noticed this year, which is I think kind of cool, what the DC Council passed is actually a Porchfest permitting amendment last year, making it easier for people to get block party permits instead of just actual festival permits for blocks. I'm probably saying that wrong, but they made it much easier for you to just have a block party on Porchfest days, and that's actually real much safer for the community when people traveling around.
That's awesome. So that means they can block off the street from cars, right?
Correct.
Kaela, as somebody who lives in Adams Morgan, maybe this is your big chance.
I know. I could host a block party, Bridget. Although I think they already close off all of 18th Street for Porchfest. And the rest of the streets, there's so many people standing in the street, it becomes essentially closed off.
Yeah.
From my experience.
I've been one of those people, unfortunately, driving around 18th Street, not attending Porchfest, trying to get out of town. And I'm like, oh, yeah, the street's not technically blocked off, but it basically is blocked off. Are there any bands that you all are looking forward to seeing?
And some of the headliners of Petworth Porchfest are Marilyn Husek, the Montaignes, and they're closing out with the Experience Band and Show.
I love the Montaignes. They're an alt pop group that I really love that are from DC. I've never heard of the other two, though, but I'm definitely going to check them out. I have a few that are going on in Adams Morgan this year. Again, I think a lot of the fun is just going around and listening to what's there. One of my favorite DC bands, Kids Table, is going to be performing at 5 p.m. They're an indie pop band. I would say they're definitely on the more well-known side for the types of bands that Porchfest tends to see. They had an amazing Tiny Desk concert last year. They're very just scratches that indie soft girl kind of itch. I think they also do really well at Porchfest because it's the kind of music that just vibes with the summertime air. I don't know how else to say that. I also think that School of Rock always puts on a great show. They're both at Adams Morgan and Petworth, and it's a bunch of kids that absolutely rock out. They're so sick. They have they're the kids in school that you wish you could have been, right? They have highlights, they're banging their heads, the tunes are great, the crowd is waving their hands around. So I always try to catch that one as well. Then there's just some weird ones that I haven't listened to these, but there's an Irish Latin band called La Unica that's going to be playing at 5 in Adams Morgan. And there's also one called Capital Rats with a $sign as the S, that I have no idea who they are, but I definitely want to check out just because of the name. So, take from that what you will.
Yeah, once you start using that level of creative punctuation in your band name, let's just say my interest is piqued.
Yeah.
I just want to highlight, I saw that some DC Punk Legends will be playing at Smash Records. I think I saw the Goons will be there.
Oh,
which,
wow.
If you if you like some DC punk music, that would probably be good for you to check out.
So Kaela was talking about School of Rock and how it's awesome kids. If you are going to Porchfest with children, any tips?
I would say make sure you have a wagon. Plan, but don't plan. You're going to see some bands that on the lists that you want to see. I think that almost making a loose schedule for yourself is almost a priority to just, how kids are. They could just be all over the place. They might enjoy something. You might want to go check something out. You might run into friends. You don't know. Anything's possible. I can say for sure that around the main stage in Petworth is right where the Petworth playground is. And right there, I noticed Mr. Rob will be playing, who's a great kids musician. I saw Teatro de Luna is performing around Sherman Circle during the day. And something I learned last year where I bring in my daughter is something to keep her occupied was just bringing some sidewalk chalk. You'd be surprised how well. Yeah, it was crazy, Bridget. I brought out a little bucket, and it turned into like a mass chalking situation, and it was just fantastic. I also would say this, even though you probably don't want to hear this, it's important to bring toilet paper with you just in case emergencies. You never know what's possible, given that you might not have a friend in a block or two by. So I'll just throw that out there.
Listen, my motto is be prepared.
Honestly, you might not want to. I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, and then something else just to consider in general that I noticed on like 9th and on 9th Street by Upshur, that whole street will have music throughout the day. It's definitely a place to go recharge. There's Mary's that has great pupusas there, and they have frozen margaritas, which probably will be to go. I don't know for sure, but I usually know if you get food, that is something that normally happens. There's also around the corner, there's Timber Pizza, which I'm sure will be popping that day. And there's actually a new place opening soon called District Larder, which I assume will probably have little snack packs ready to go. And it looks fantastic. Little butcher shop kind of sorts.
Well, probably the biggest tip that I would give listeners about Porchfest is that I'm planning on being there. And if you see me or other folks from Team CityCast, give a wave. Say hello.
Oh, yeah.
We would love to say hello.
Absolutely. I'll be wearing my tote, so you'll be able to recognize me.
I'll be the one with the hiking boots, the wagon, the chair.
Yeah, I'll be in the wagon. I'll be in Bridget's wagon, actually.
I'll be toting Kaela behind me.
And exactly.
We'll have a little CityCast parade.
Yeah. If
Kayla's
you need toilet paper,
floats.
just come see us,
Well, Kaela, Mark, I will see you at Porchfest. Thanks for being here.
All right. Thanks, Bridget.
See you there, Bridget. See you, Kaela.
That is all for today here on CityCast DC. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell your friend that you want to pull around in a wagon during Porchfest? And we'll be back tomorrow morning with even more news from around the city. Talk to you then.